Happy Saturday! Okay, these are some of the TEKS and objectives we'll be covering this week starting September 29th. The first one, 5.13a, I will interpret details from a nonfiction procedural text to complete a task, solve a problem, or perform procedures. One of the other objectives is 5.11d. I will use nonfiction text features and graphics to better understand the text and locate information. And the last objective we'll be covering is 5.10a. I will make conclusions using information presented by the author and evaluate how well the author's purpose was achieved. And so those are three objectives that we'll be covering this week. But before I begin, let me go over a few vocabulary words that you're going to need to understand in order to effectively complete your assignments this week. So the first word you'll need to understand is head note. A head note is a brief summary, comment, or explanation that precedes a chapter or report in a story. Headings, a title that appears above different sections of the story. Bullet, it's a dot that comes before a step, list, or set of instructions. And lastly, steps, the part of a procedural text that says what you do. So you might be wondering, if you didn't have me last year, what is a procedural text? So a procedural text tells you how to do something. So first, it tells you how to complete a task, or it tells you how to solve a problem, or it tells you how to perform a procedure. So there are two different texts I'm going to talk about, and I want you at the end, and I want you to write it down, which text you believe is an actual procedural text. Okay, text A. It explains how to open a bank account. Text B. It explains why having a bank account is important. So at the end of this, I want you to write down which one is a procedural text, text A or text B. All right, and then something else, I wanted to show you some examples of books that are procedural texts. Here's a great book that we have at the Kelso Elementary School Library. It's called Something to Make, Something to Think About, and it's a great procedural textbook that you can check out at the library. Another book that we'll be using in class is African Crafts, Fun Things to Make and Do from West Africa. Ooh, doesn't that look exciting? And we'll talk more about that. Lastly, I want to go over the things that you're going to need this week. Here they go. And here's the example of a bullet. Isn't that awesome? So work on your how-to project with your parent. On Monday, I'm going to give you a project. It's going to count as your test grade for this week. And you're going to create your own how-to project. So you're going to make a book on procedures, and then you're going to have to build or create the object that your book is discussing. Number two, make sure the goldfish permission slip gets signed. Oh, goldfish permission slip? What is that? Come to class on Monday and you'll find out. It's exciting. And the third one, you need to get an 8-inch across metal coffee can. So those metal coffee cans, it needs to be about 8 inches across. You need to bring that to school because we'll be making something from West Africa in a procedural text. And then lastly, my tutorials will start on Tuesday. They will be Tuesday through Thursday this week, and then after that, Monday through Thursday. That's important to remember. And lastly, for my protege students, your website is due on Thursday. So those are all the things you need to know. So again, the question that you need to answer and bring to class on Monday is text A a procedural text, or is text B a procedural text? And I need to know the definitions of all these words. Have those written down. Headings, head note, bullet, and steps. And if you have any questions, please, please, please feel free to call me. You guys are awesome. Get it, scholars. Oh, yeah. Okay, bye.